Hey there, Aries. Welcome to your reading for the week of February 23rd. We are going to jump right in here. You have this transformation card and this inner peace card. So, all that energy moving into your sign could definitely be bringing in some transformation and inner peace. Wouldn't worry too much about the tower. Butterfly imagery is the tower. A caterpillar has to go into its chrysalis and it turns into caterpillar soup before it turns into a butterfly. So that is kind of a tower moment, right? The caterpillar is going from only being able to walk on land to being able to fly through the air. And the tower is about entering into a new reality. So obviously, if you were able to fly through the air when you couldn't, that would be a new reality for you. You also have that Six of Cups. Six of Cups kind of is a card of inner peace in some ways because it is a card of your inner child. And we have to kind of embrace our inner child and have more fun at this time, I think. And we also have to not be afraid with the Six of Cups. So in your first row for your current general energies, you have the Six of Cups, the Seven of Swords, and the Tower. Again, Six of Cups, sometimes I feel the Six of Cups is about handling something too carefully. This girl here has this oven mitt on her hand. And not only that, you have the Seven of Swords. So Seven of Swords, he is carrying these swords by their tips. He is doing something very carefully, right? But with the Six of Cups, sometimes I feel that it's saying that we have to release our inner child. We have to stop being so careful about, doing things that we love, doing things that bring us joy and happiness and inner peace in our life. And we have to not really hide those things from the world. These two children are inside these castle walls, and there's this guard over here that's guarding the inner child. And, again, sometimes I think the Six of Cups is talking about being more vulnerable. Even the butterfly imagery, right? Butterflies are very fragile. So, butterflies can represent something that is fragile. And, it could be anything. With Saturn in your sign, it could be your ego, right? Maybe you're afraid that if you tell people something about yourself, or if you want to go build something new in the world, you could be thinking oh, people are going to make fun of me, or people are going to hurt my feelings, or whatever, right? I kind of get that feeling on the first row here. But it's number one, people probably won't care as much as you think, number one, right? And number two, I think it's going to lead to a lot of success. So I would do it. I always tell a story. I live in a top secret area, but it's very conservative around here. And so it's I go to this class, people ask me what I do. And I was nervous at first to tell people what I do just because, it's I don't know how religious people feel about tarot and astrology. But you know what the funny thing is, Aries, is no one has cared at all, right? So it's that's my own personal experience with this type of energy right there. It's no one cared. So, really, it's does it matter? Probably not. You have the Seven of Swords. Again, Seven of Swords can be lying, cheating, stealing, but really it's a good card. Golden cards in the tarot are good no matter what. And he is sneaking away from this army in the background here, so he's going to war, but in a different way. And this card wants you to think about pretty much everything that you're doing and wants you to do it in a different way. Again, I think the imagery here in this reading is really talking about, being more carefree. He has these polka dots on his cloak, and polka dots in the tarot can represent taking things too seriously and needing to be more playful. So we are definitely in a time of very serious energy where I think people will be taking things too seriously. And again, the only solution is to be more playful and realize that nothing really matters, right? Not in a nihilistic way, but in just a more carefree, just, what, I'm just going to live my life and I'm not going to care type of attitude here, Aries. And I feel some of you could be, that could be the transformation you're having as you're getting to that more, carefree energy. You have the Tower. Like I said, butterflies are like a tower type moment because you are entering into new reality. I do think the Tower, it is a card of transformation, and I think in this reading it's just talking about undergoing a transformation. We even go up to the Six of Swords to the Death card, which would be a major transformation in your life. Six of Swords, they're completely moving on to calmer shores. They are leaving everything in their past Death card is just a big transformation. So again, some of you, this could be a tower moment that you are basically choosing. I always say, to me, the tower gets a bad rap in the astrology, in tarot in the first place. It's like, yeah, it can be a challenging card, but it's like, does that mean we shouldn't do it? No. Sometimes we create tower moments on purpose that, create something good. So, I wouldn't worry about it. With the Six of Cups, you have the King of Pentacles. This tells me that things need to change. King of Pentacles is a card of, it's basically just the card of convention. It represents the way things have always been. And so sometimes I think that he needs to evolve. He is kind of my card of evolution as well. I think that he's a good card, but he's good until he isn't, is how I describe the King of Pentacles. It's like, if he has a job, for example, it's like maybe the way he does his job is good for like 20 years, right? It's like maybe he does a good job. He is very effective at what he does, but, at a certain point, like we have to learn new things. At a certain point, the world changes. At a certain point, technology changes, right? And so the trick with the King of Pentacles is to do what works, but don't get stuck in those like comfort zones of life where you just keep using the same old tricks, right? At a certain point, we have to learn new things and new skills, and that's the type of transformation that he has to undergo. And I feel like a lot of your readings, Aries, basically talk about like the next stage, leveling up, things like that. And so, especially with that King of Pentacles, if you are plateaued, as in if things have been the same for like years now, it could just be time to learn new skills. With the Seven of Swords, you have the Star, which is great, coming up after the Tower. So obviously a good thing. The Star comes up after the Tower and leads to a lot of success and also can lead to blessings. So, I think for a lot of you that you could be, getting past this transformation and you could be experiencing the blessings that are going to come in because of it. So I feel pretty good about that. With the Tower, you have the King of Cups, which you have twice in this reading. This could also be a person, like a surprise person. So, and I am getting that feeling here because we have the Four of Wands, Page of Cups here, King of Cups here as well. So if you are looking for love, this could be a person that just comes in by surprise. I don't think it's like, some super big surprise. I think this is more telling me that if you aren't really looking for it, it might show up, and don't be surprised if it does. Next, in the area of what's coming in for you, you have this card that says you can do hard things. It said it is not as impossible as it may feel. You have the Say Yes. It says now is the time to be open and to receive. So, again, I think that, again, King of Pentacles, we can develop a little bit of a comfort zone, especially in work or business, but this could be any area of your life here, Aries. And it's like your mind is ready to level up, but you also at the same time might be thinking like, oh, to level up, I'm going to have to do all these hard things. But I would just like keep it super simple is what I would say, with these two cards. I would also challenge yourself to do something harder. It's like the way I always feel for Aries is like you're so close to, something and to like the next level. And it's like you already, what I think Aries doesn't realize is it's like you already do the work necessary. It's like the best example I can give you is YouTube. It's like, let's pretend I wanted to be on TV. I don't want to be on TV, but let's pretend I did. It's like, it would be probably much easier than I think because I already do it. It's just a different platform. That's what I feel for Aries. It's like you already do something that is almost exactly the same as the leveling up option in your life. And I think you just need to realize that it's not hard. It's like the same, but just a little bit different. And I would move in that direction. You have the Temperance card, the Six of Swords, and the Four of Wands. Temperance, of course, is patience. But at the same time, Temperance has this path here. This is the path to glory. And we have this glowing crown in the background. And so he needs to go claim his crown. He's kind of just like trying to make things perfect in his life when he could easily just go claim that crown and he could have his success. So he's like waiting for things to be perfect. And it's like, kind of the feeling I get here, Aries, is it's like, what if you are meant to be a trailblazer? It's almost like it's almost like you have this set of rules in your head where you're thinking like, for me to get to the next level, I have to do this, this, and this. But it's like the universe is saying like, that's everybody else's rules that you're coming up with here. And maybe you're creating blockages by saying like, I have to meet these requirements to have this great thing in my life. But it's like, well, what if you don't? What if you could just get off on your path and, go level up, and you don't, there are no rules, right? You're going to make your own rules. And I think you need to realize that. You have the Six of Swords, which is moving on to calmer shores. Six of Swords, as I always say, this woman and the child in the boat, they only have the clothing on their back. So they are moving on to calmer shores for the hopes of a brighter future, and they are leaving everything in the past. So they are not bringing anything with them except the clothing on their back. And so the Six of Swords can feel like an intense transformation or change in life, especially Tower, Six of Swords, Death card. It's like you are undergoing some sort of intense change at this time. But you probably are moving on to calmer shores. It's like you're moving into a better environment for success. And this could be in any area of your life. I really do feel this is like a big picture reading. It's not like, yeah, there's love here, yeah, there's work here, but I think this is everything that is changing in your life here, Aries. You have the Four Wands. Like I said, could be love for those of you that want love. Four Wands, doesn't say you have to get married, but it could say that you are getting married in the future to a person. This is also a card of freedom. Also, these people are celebrating on the other side, right? I always say this is like a finish line card. We have to cross through this threshold here, and so that we can go celebrate on the other side. So it's like saying what you've been working on is done. Now it's time to level up, go, cross the finish line with what you've been working on, and it's time to create your next thing in life. And I feel like that's what you're doing here, Aries. Makes a lot of sense with, Saturn in your sign. With the Temperance card, you have the Six of Swords. Like I said, improvements. I do feel like there's like an environmental change here. I kind of said that earlier in the reading, that it's like maybe you've been in an environment where you haven't been able to change literally, and now you're kind of like changing something in your environment so that you can change. So I do feel like there is a change going on here, or it's like you are moving to a correct environment. Next, with the Six of Swords, sure, we'll take both. You have the Six of Wands and the Three of Cups. King of Wands. I don't know why I said Six of Wands. King of Wands could be you, Aries, showing up in a very strong position. Again, whenever we show up as ourselves, we, puts us in a position of power and strength and allows us to get what we want from the reading. So I do feel like you're showing up in a strong position. A lot of your readings in 2025 talked about your support circle, the people that support you, the people that lift you up. I do think you've undergone many changes since like 2016 with people in your life. And like figuring out who really supports you, who can support you, who can lift you up, and all that other good stuff. So I definitely feel that with the Three of Cups. You have two cards of celebration here, this and the Four Wands. So there definitely could be some sort of celebration. This would be celebrating a harvest. These three ladies are celebrating the harvest that is going on around them here. So if you've been putting in the work, could be that celebrating harvest. With the Four Wands, you have the Four of Pentacles. It's like wanting things to be the same is what I'm getting here, Aries. I feel like it's like you might be saying to yourself that you're scared of something, but I think it's uncertainty is what I'm getting off of this Four of Pentacles card. So it's like you're not really scared of something. And I don't know if you think you are, or if you feel like you are, or if something makes you nervous. It's like your knees are clapping together here. I don't know, that sounded wrong, Aries, but your knees are shaking about something, like some sort of move you want to make or something you want to do. And I feel maybe changing the word would be good for you. Like, don't say you're scared. Just say, I'm uncertain about the future. Again, Four of Pentacles doesn't really represent fear, but, he is holding on to everything that he has. And this is preventing him from being able to open up to more, like the Ten of Pentacles or something like that. And, he is kind of choosing to stay stuck in the familiar, maybe out of fear, and so that's kind of what I get off of that card. I don't know. Weird reading, but good. Next, in the area of messages from your future self, you have this 4C card and this barrier card. Yes. Again, you literally could be seeing the future soon, if not right now, because we have Neptune and Aries, so your intuition is probably on fire. Like I said, the barrier thing with that Temperance card, and we were kind of talking about like little like rules or something getting in the way. And I don't know that they're rules. I think they're kind of rules, but it's like you're saying to yourself, I have to like follow this strict structure to, be successful, or, I have to be like this in a relationship. But it's like, I think you need to throw all that out. And, we're in a very rebellious time. We have Uranus going to Gemini soon in April. And Uranus and Gemini is all about breaking the rules. It's all about sticking out like a sore thumb, being a rebel, which I think would be a good attitude for you to develop here, Aries. You have the Death card, the King of Cups, and the Five of Swords. Death can be a transformation or a change. Obviously, this whole reading is about a major transformation in your life. This is the death of authority. Right here, we have the King being dead underneath the Death Rider. The King being dead, it represents a couple of things. One, the death of authority. Number two, it says that things that are established have to die. Sometimes we can think that something is going to last forever, but it doesn't. And everything undergoes a transformation. And this doesn't mean you have to cut something out of your life. It just means that you could be transforming something you've been working on for a long time. You could be taking it to the next level. Like I said, we're kind of entering into a new world. So the rules have changed, like I said, and you could just be changing the rules or changing the game in some way. Maybe that's a good way to put it. And the whole entire reading is asking you to, kind of like let go of what you've been holding on to. Everything about the Death Rider, or about the Death card, this guy, this lady right here, they're all kind of in different positions. This guy's begging for his, this guy's dead. This guy's begging for his life. She's upset because she's about to go through a change. But the child on the card is the only person that is excited about the change. The child is holding flowers up to the Death Rider. And again, the beginning of the reading was saying, embrace your inner child. Like, children are excited by change for the most part. Children are excited by new things and ask a lot of questions, right? So I think being more excited about the change that you're going through right now would be a good idea. You have the King of Cups again. Again, could be a person. You almost have all four kings, which would be an emperor. And so if you're trying to attract a person, there could be a new person. King of Cups wants you to control your emotions. He has very deep emotions, but he explores his emotions, but he also comes up for air. He doesn't drown in his emotions. And with Saturn and Aries especially could make you, could make you a little bit more spicy, Aries, which isn't a bad thing. If nothing else, it'll probably make you more successful because it'll make you more passionate about the things that you are doing. But, on the same side of that, I would make sure you're channeling your emotions into something. You have the Five of Swords. Five of Swords can be separation, walking away from something, winning at all cost. It's also my card of like taking a risk. And so I think it would be a good time for you to take a risk here, Aries, or take bigger risks. I also feel like the things you think are risks are going to be much smaller risks than you think. I don't know if that makes sense, but it's like you're thinking that something is going to be a huge risk. And I think if you go through those things, you're going to be like, oh, that was easy, right? And so I think it would be a good time for you to take risks in like work, business, even love, if you want love, because I think it's going to be easier than you think. With the Death card, here you go. You have the Empress. So we almost have the Emperor and the Empress in this reading. Ton of abundance in some sort of change or leveling up, like we always talk about, Aries, that you're going to be going through. So I really like that. With the King of Cups, you have the Judgment card. Judgment is like a wake-up call. Now, the thing is readings that have Judgment and Tower, this is the most powerful combination in the tarot. It represents like a major revelation, major wake-up call. So you could be kind of, having a light bulb moment this week where you realize, what you need to be doing in your life. You could also be having a wake-up call with a person, because we have the King of Cups with each of these cards. So, if you're looking for love, like I said, it could be a little bit of a surprise. Like, you're just not looking for it. Or if you are looking for it, you could find out a person that you're interested in is also interested in you. And it could be that type of light bulb moment. With the Five of Swords, you have the Two of Swords. Yeah, the whole reading is about, looking at things from a different perspective as well. Six of Swords, Star even, Temperance, all this stuff. She's thinking this or that, but really things are going to go this way. Like I said on the Five of Swords, the risks you take, it's not even worth thinking about the risk, I think, for you, Aries, because it just, like you can try to predict the outcome, but the Two of Swords says the outcome is going to go a completely different direction, right? She's, like I said, she's thinking this or that, but really it's going to go this way over here on this island where she isn't even over there. So, again, I think that, this reading is asking you to be more playful, more adventurous maybe. And it's like saying there's no use worrying about things either, because you like the outcome of the things you're doing or working on or the people you're talking to, everything is going to be different than you expect, but, probably good. Next, in the area of the good stuff, you have this Thief card. It says loss, abandonment, disappearance, missing, someone or something, theft, deficiency, energy vampire removed, which is good. You have a short illness. It says short rest, poor health, blockage, temporary problems, weakness, unhealthy atmosphere, standstill. So again, these are coming up in the good stuff, so they're going to be good. You could be healing with that short illness card. This card, the short illness also says atmosphere on it, right? So we were talking about you entering into a different environment. And so this could be like a positive environmental change around you that leads to more positivity or, healthier environment in general. The Thief card says removed on it. So you could be removing something that has been like an energy vampire as well. You have the Justice card, the Ten of Swords, and the Page of Cups. Justice is like cause and effect. Justice is balance. Justice is justice. So a lot of you could feel like you're getting justice on something. I'm not really feeling much there. You have the Ten of Swords. Ten of Swords in the good stuff is a blessing in disguise. He's making the same symbol here that the Hierophant is making on his card, and it just represents a blessing in disguise. So I feel like there could be, after a difficult ending from your past, you could be seeing how a difficult ending is a blessing. With the Justice card, again, that could be the justice coming in. Now, one thing I will say is that this message has been kind of common this week, the week of the 23rd. Today is the 19th, so we're 2 days after the eclipse. This will be published on the 20th, so like 3 days after the eclipse. And so eclipse energy can last for like 6 months. And eclipses can sometimes bring in like karma or positive karma. And, I kind of get that feeling here for you, Aries, where it just wouldn't surprise me if, at some point over the next few months or so, you see how something not working was a blessing. You have the Page of Cups. Definitely love in this reading. And, I don't know. I feel like saying stop worrying about it or something here, Aries. Like, especially for those of you, this might only be for a few of you, but especially if you're interested in a person. I think it's like, I don't know if you're putting someone on a pedestal or if you're, thinking that a person wouldn't be interested or something. But, I think you need to get out of your head about that, whatever that situation is. It's probably going to be a lot easier than you think. Yeah, with the Justice card, you have the Ace of Cups. Definitely could be a love offer, like I said. Part of me wonders if you're the one that's making the love offer. Again, I was saying your knees are clacking together here, Aries. So it's like, I don't know if you're like the person that's going to be communicating interest or something. Maybe obviously take it how it resonates. That might only be some of you. The Ace of Cups can also be just flow. So you could be getting into the flow here. With the Ten of Swords, you have the Page of Wands. We were talking about adventure. I want to see something else. Yeah, so we were talking about adventure and going on adventures, being more childlike. Page of Wands, he goes on adventure. He doesn't care about outcome. Everything I said. With the Page of Cups, you have the Three of Wands. Next level. Three of Wands is about expanding out into the world so that you can get to the next level or next stage. He has to go on these boats. He has no clue where those boats are going. He has no clue what the outcome is going to be, but he has to get on those boats and explore the potential outcome, which is pretty much exactly what I feel for you here, Aries. Like the whole reading basically said that you're, leaving behind something familiar and entering into a new environment or something like that. So love it. You have this fan. It says romance, celebration, and party. We were talking about celebration. This could say that celebration is going to be important, as in you need to go have celebrations. Like you should be celebrating your wins, celebrating your victories. And if you have opportunities to socialize this week or have fun with people, that would be good as well. You have this tiger. It says doing something risky, taking a chance. What do you know? We talked about risk this whole entire reading. So I think that there's a risk that you could be a little bit scared about, but I think it'll be worth it, Aries. You have this gavel. It says involvement with the law. Again, if you are involved with the law, we see law and order in the reading. We see justice. So, this looks legal stuff looks pretty good to me. Obviously, no speeding. I mean, really, for like the next years, we should all be driving like grandmas. Again, Saturn and Aries, Neptune and Aries. It's like fiery energy, it's rushing energy, impulsive energy. So like speeding, running red lights, all that stuff. Like I wouldn't take those risks. You have this purse card that says pay attention to your finances. Yeah, money looks pretty good for you, Aries. I would say that, like, really, as far as I'm concerned, even though it's not your second house, Saturn and Aries, there's something about Saturn and Aries that's like financial discipline and like good, like you probably will just be financially disciplined. You will be, paying attention and all that other stuff. So I'm not too worried about money for you. If anything, you have the opportunity to build a lot of money over the next many years. You have this chair filled that says someone new is entering your life. Obviously, here, Aries. So I don't know. Even if you're saying you don't want love, don't be surprised if you end up in a relationship over the next, year or something like that. It might not happen today, but there could be it. This looks like a surprise interest to me with the Tower. Again, it's not really a surprise. Like I don't think that you're going to be like, oh my god, I'm so shocked, right? I think this is more like, oh, okay, that's interesting, type of deal with a person. So there you go. I like this for you, Aries. So thank you for being here. Make sure to leave a comment, and definitely enjoy your week.